If you or someone you love has been dealing with a cough that just won't go away, a cough that lingers for months, interrupts sleep, embarrasses you in public, and makes you feel older than you are, then what I'm about to share may completely change how you think about chronic cough after 60. Because here's the shocking truth most people never hear. For many older adults, that stubborn cough is not a mystery illness, not just aging, and not something you have to live with forever. And in thousands of cases, it can calm down dramatically when one overlooked daily habit is corrected, sometimes faster than you ever imagined. I've seen people who coughed for years finally sleep through the night again, not because of a new drug, but because they finally understood what was really irritating their throat and lungs every single day without them realizing it. So before you click away, let me ask you this. What if the thing keeping your cough alive isn't in your chest at all, but in your daily routine? Now, let's slow this down and talk like adults, because chronic cough after 60 is common, frustrating, and often misunderstood. A chronic cough is usually defined as a cough lasting longer than 8 weeks, and by the time people reach their 60s, 70s, and beyond, the causes tend to stack up. Years of environmental exposure, subtle changes in digestion, shifts in immunity, medications, posture, and even breathing patterns can all quietly contribute. Many people assume a chronic cough must mean lung disease, but in reality, a large percentage of persistent coughs in older adults are driven by irritation rather than infection, and irritation is something we can often reduce once we understand the source. One of the biggest misconceptions is that a cough always means your lungs are producing mucus that needs to be cleared. In fact, many chronic coughs are dry, tickly, and triggered by sensations in the throat rather than deep in the chest. This is where things start to get interesting, because the throat and lungs share nerve pathways, and as we age, those nerves can become more sensitive, almost like a car alarm that goes off when a leaf touches it. Small irritations that never bothered you at 40 can trigger non-stop coughing at 65. Now, let's talk about what keeps that irritation going day after day. One of the most common and overlooked drivers of chronic cough after 60 is silent reflux, also called laryngopharyngeal reflux. Unlike classic heartburn, silent reflux often doesn't cause chest pain or burning. Instead, stomach contents travel upward and lightly mist the throat, especially at night. Even tiny amounts of acid or digestive enzymes can inflame the delicate tissues of the voice box and upper airway. You may wake up with a scratchy throat, need to clear your throat constantly, or feel like there's something stuck there. Over time, the body responds with coughing as a protective reflex. Many people are shocked when they learn that their cough is coming from the stomach, not the lungs. Another major contributor is dehydration, which becomes more common with age. As we get older, our sense of thirst weakens. Medications like diuretics increase fluid loss, and we may simply drink less without realizing it. Dry tissues in the throat and airways are more easily irritated. Imagine trying to rub your hands together when they're completely dry versus slightly moisturized. The same principle applies inside your body. A dry throat is far more likely to trigger a cough reflex. Then there's post-nasal drip, which sounds harmless but can be relentless. Thick mucus dripping down the back of the throat, often caused by allergies, sinus issues, or dry indoor air, constantly stimulates cough receptors. Add to this certain blood pressure medications, especially ACE inhibitors, which are well known to cause chronic cough in some people, and you begin to see how layered this problem can be. Now, here's where the daily secret comes in. And no, it's not a miracle pill or an exotic supplement. It's a simple evening routine that addresses several of these triggers at once, especially silent reflux and throat irritation, which is why so many people notice improvement quickly. The core of this routine is timing, positioning, and gentle hydration, done consistently every evening. Let me explain why this matters. Most chronic cough sufferers notice their symptoms are worse at night or early in the morning. That's not a coincidence. When you lie flat, gravity no longer helps keep stomach contents down. If you eat late, snack close to bedtime, or lie down soon after dinner, even a healthy meal can increase reflux pressure. Over time, nightly exposure inflames the throat, and you wake up already irritated. Coughing then continues throughout the day because the tissue never gets a chance to fully calm down. The daily secret is to create a nightly buffer that protects your throat during sleep. This starts with stopping food intake earlier than most people do. Giving your body at least 3 hours between your last meal and lying down allows the stomach to empty more completely. This alone can significantly reduce nighttime reflux. Many people resist this idea because they're used to evening snacks, but when they finally try it consistently, the difference can be dramatic. Next comes gentle hydration, not chugging water, but sipping warm fluids in the evening, especially something soothing like warm water or a mild herbal tea that you tolerate well. Warm liquids help thin mucus, relax the throat muscles, and promote saliva production, which naturally neutralizes acid. Saliva is one of your body's best defenses against reflux damage, and many people produce less of it as they age, especially if they breathe through their mouth at night. Positioning is the third piece, and this is critical. Elevating the head and upper torso slightly during sleep uses gravity to keep stomach contents where they belong. This doesn't mean stacking pillows under your head, which can actually kink the neck and make things worse. It means elevating the upper body so the esophagus remains above the stomach. Some people do this with a wedge pillow, others by raising the head of the bed a few inches. This simple adjustment can dramatically reduce nighttime throat exposure to acid and enzymes. When people combine earlier dinners, gentle evening hydration, and proper sleep positioning, they often notice that their morning throat irritation eases within days. When the throat isn't being re-injured every night, it finally has a chance to heal. As inflammation decreases, cough sensitivity drops. The cough reflex calms. This is why some people say it feels like it worked overnight, even though what's really happening is the removal of a nightly trigger that had been quietly sabotaging them for years. Now, let's talk about breathing, because how you breathe matters more than most people realize. Many older adults develop shallow, mouth-based breathing, especially during sleep. Mouth breathing dries out the throat and bypasses the natural filtering and humidifying function of the nose. A dry, unprotected airway is far more prone to irritation. Training yourself to breathe through your nose during the day and supporting nasal breathing at night can make a noticeable difference. Keeping the nasal passages clear with saline rinses or sprays, especially in dry climates or during allergy season, helps reduce post-nasal drip and throat dryness. This isn't about forcing anything, but gently supporting your body's natural design. Another important piece is what not to do. Constant throat clearing may feel helpful, but it actually perpetuates irritation. Each time you clear your throat, you're slamming irritated tissues together, which can keep the cycle going. When you feel the urge, try swallowing, sipping water, or gently humming instead. Humming vibrates the vocal cords in a less abrasive way and can temporarily satisfy the urge without causing damage. Cough suppressants can be useful short-term, but relying on them long-term without addressing the underlying cause often leads to frustration. Similarly, lozenges with strong menthol can sometimes dry the throat further, even though they feel soothing at first. Paying attention to how your body responds is key. Now, I want to be very clear and responsible here. Chronic cough can sometimes be a sign of serious conditions, including lung disease, heart problems, or infections that require medical care. If you have symptoms like unexplained weight loss, coughing up blood, severe shortness of breath, chest pain, or a cough that is rapidly worsening, you must seek medical evaluation. These strategies we're discussing are supportive, not a replacement for professional care. That said, for a large number of people over 60, the cough persists despite normal test results, and that's where lifestyle-based approaches often shine. Let's also talk about the role of inflammation. As we age, the body tends to stay in a slightly more inflamed state. Diets high in ultra-processed foods, sugar, and certain fats can contribute to this. Inflammation makes nerves more reactive, including those involved in coughing. Supporting an anti-inflammatory diet pattern, rich in whole foods, vegetables, healthy fats, and adequate protein, can lower baseline irritation over time. This doesn't mean perfection, it means being mindful that what you eat affects not just your heart and joints, but also your throat and lungs. Spicy foods, chocolate, peppermint, alcohol, and coffee can all relax the lower esophageal sphincter in some people, increasing reflux. Not everyone reacts the same way, but paying attention to patterns can be enlightening. Stress is another underestimated factor. Stress changes breathing patterns, increases muscle tension in the throat, and can worsen reflux by altering digestion. Many people notice their cough flares during emotionally tense periods. Incorporating simple stress reduction practices, such as slow breathing, gentle stretching, or quiet evening routines, can indirectly reduce